Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. Make sure you check out part 1, which was an idea from Truth Told. I will link it in the description box below. Without further ado, please enjoy part 2 of Shades of Love and Heartbreak. Standing in front of Ladybug was her boyfriend. No longer Cat Noir, but Cat Blanc. Her eyes widened as she stood in shock, motionless. All of this because she wanted to protect him. It wasn't worth this. Why did I do that? He's protected me so many times. I was stupid and I put everyone I love in danger. She was lost in her thoughts until Viperian gently shook her shoulders. Come on, Ladybug, we can't stay here. He is going to destroy everything. He tugged on her wrist to lead her elsewhere. Right, okay. She snapped back to reality. They didn't go far, just far enough to formulate a plan. They positioned themselves at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower behind one of the legs. Cat Blanc dropped to the street, shattering it as he landed. Ladybug, don't you want to fix this? It's your fault, after all. It'd be a shame if someone had to pay the ultimate price because of your mistakes. Cat Blanc let a sinister chortle rip through his core. His partner's heart lurched. It was her fault. Everything. She had to fix this. Cat Noir! She shouted, revealing herself, standing several feet away from him. Please don't do this! He smirked at her, displaying a toothy grin. I am Cat Blanc. So much more powerful than I was before. A fearsome cataclysm lit up his hands. Milady, give me your Miraculous, and then this will be nothing more than a nightmare. You know I can't do that, Cat. Let me help you. She slowly approached him, not drawing her weapon. He was still her partner. He would never hurt her. Ladybug, wait! Don't! Viperian began running in her direction. Viperian, stop! She held out a hand to him. It's okay. Trust me. Because I trust Cat Noir. She turned back to her akumatized partner, while his cataclysm still raged on. Viperian nodded apprehensively. He stood and watched the scene unfold, not moving an inch. Then if you trust me, milady, give me your Miraculous. I want to fix your mistakes. His voice raised in intensity with pain coursing through it. Ladybug said nothing but looked at the ground. Cat Noir looked down at her, disappointed. I see. Well, in that case. He turned his back from her and aimed his cataclysms in the opposite direction, but she couldn't feel relieved because in that direction was the bakery and the Grand Paris Hotel. All she could think about was her parents. No, Cat, please, no, don't do it! Anything but that! She dropped to her knees, clinging to the backs of Cat's legs. He didn't acknowledge her, and the world around her seemed to crumple in dust and rubble. Where her house once stood, there was only leftover brick. France was on fire, and she couldn't hear her own screams. Her throat was hoarse, her face was stained with tears, as she continued yelling, clinging to Cat Blanc's legs. She couldn't move. She couldn't stand even if she wanted to. The world around her fell silent as she had no more tears left to cry. And she was all alone. Viperian had left to check on the outcome of the demolition. She stared blankly ahead, Cat looking at his hands. Even in his akumatized state, he appeared perplexed that he was capable of such destruction. For the first time, he noticed Ladybug hugging his legs. You killed them. Ladybug's voice could barely be heard above the sound of flames. What? You killed them! Ladybug retorted louder. All of them! The Dupanchangs, the bourgeois, over half of Paris! She could no longer control her anger. Cat Blanc remained stationary, speaking calmly. If I did, it's because you made me. If you hadn't replaced me, none of this would have happened. You killed them, Ladybug. That hurt. because in her mind it wasn't completely false. She bit back a sob and said, "Lucky charm," holding out her hands. One simple thing fell from the sky, a Polaroid picture of her. Ladybug's eyes burned with a determination that mimicked the flames of Paris. "What about Marinette? Don't you love her, Adrien?" Cat Blanc's scarily pale blue eyes widened fiercely, then narrowed. "Adrien? But you couldn't possibly. It's a trick!" One of his hands shot out towards her face to grab her Miraculous. Ladybug grabbed it, pulling him close to her. "No, Adrien! I know who you are! And I love you." Ladybug held out the photo of herself as Marinette that had a red and black border around it to signify its lucky charm status. "Marinette." Tears formed in his eyes. "But..." "That's right, kitty. I'm Marinette. I love you so much." Her voice wavered with tears she attempted to hold off. Her partner was coming back to her. "I am so sorry for everything." He was full on weeping now. "Help me fix it, Cat. You are so strong," she coaxed, rubbing his back as he cried. Cat Blanc sternly looked toward the heavens and yelled, "Hawkmoth! I reject these emotions! I am stronger than you! I am more than my sadness, and I am not just destruction!" A purple emblem appeared over his face, shattering. He was free from Hawkmoth's clutches. Swiftly, Cat Blanc transformed into Cat Noir, who transformed back into Adrien Agreste. He collapsed in Ladybug's arms, unconscious for a few seconds. He opened his eyes to find his lady leaning over him, flames still surrounding them, her eyes glossy. "Hey, m'lady," he whispered. She said nothing, but wrapped him in a tight embrace, clutching him as tightly as possible. He lifted his head slightly, noticing the fire surrounding them. Right. He did that. "Hey, LB, could you fix my mistake for me?" He still sounded weak. Ladybug smiled at him, kissing his forehead that was drenched with sweat. After hurting innocent people, how could she still love him? How could she forgive him? She was truly miraculous. Still holding him in one arm, Ladybug threw the Polaroid with the other. "Miraculous Ladybug!" Ladybug swept the streets. Buildings after buildings reappeared. That meant everything was as it should be. Everyone was safe. Adrien finally sat up, rubbing his head. Ladybug released him as she sat cross-legged in the street beside him, silent for a moment. She looked at her hands before she spoke. "I'm sorry, Adrien. This was my fault. I shouldn't have tried to protect you." He took her hands, forcing her to look at him. "Thank you for trying to protect me, but why go through all the extra effort? When I found out you're Cat Noir, I couldn't help but remember all of the times you fought and risked your life for me. I couldn't bear the thought of that. So, anyway, I was stupid. I know you can handle yourself. I became so scared, and I'm so sorry." She jerked her hands up to her face as she started to cry once more. Hey! He took her hands back, pulling his sobbing girlfriend into his chest. "It's okay. I get it now. If it were the other way around, I may have done the same thing. I love you, m'lady. But I'll never stop risking my life for you because I need to protect you. But from now on, we'll just protect each other, okay?" He gazed at her and wiped fresh tears from her bluebell eyes. "Sounds like a deal. It's you and me forever, kitty." Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Also, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. Seeing your comments truly makes my day. As always, stay miraculous.